hey, if you're having a problem in your relationship, it might be a good idea to consider interdependence. That's mutual dependence on each other. And in the universe, there's a lot of systems that depend on other systems in order to work properly. And your relationships are no exception. So for me to think about and talk to my partner about how my behavior affects her and vice versa, it's a really important thing. Sometimes we forget that what I do affects other people and what they do affects me. And so to have that conversation when we're not heated, when we're not arguing, to learn about what I think is important, what she thinks is important, what is working and what's not working, it can lead to clearing up and eliminating some conflict. Sometimes we get caught in conflicts that never seem to end. They seem to go round and round and round. And part of the problem is that the conflict remains on the level of the stated conflict. Like, what happened? And we never talk about how I see myself, how my partner sees herself, how she sees me, and how I see her. And then how I see the relationship and how she sees the relationship. And so until we get to those levels under the stated conflict, it won't resolve itself. Even if we stop arguing or the conflict ends, it's still smoldering and it's still on the back burner, and it can be easily triggered again by some other event, and all of that stuff comes to the forefront. And we're fighting again over basically the same thing. So in psychotherapy, in my practice, I try to help my clients understand the rules of conflict and get below the level of the stated conflict to think about how they see themselves. If my partner's mad at me because I come in late and I don't call, well, a lot of that has to do with, obviously, it could be a situation, my phone run out of power or I'm in traffic or something like that. But another part of it is because of the way I see myself. I may believe I don't have to call. I may believe that, I'm a grown man. Why should I call you? My biases, my hidden beliefs, all that stuff comes out. So to be able to have a conversation about my perception of myself, my perception of her, my perception of the relationship can remove the underpinnings of conflict. Yeah. So that's what we try to do. We try to go below the surface. And it just is a really good conversation to have. So much learning takes place. Usually people get into conflicts and it's like, this is the pattern. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. And when we get into that position, no learning is taking place because it's just a constant push-pull and staying at the level of the stated conflict and not getting below that. So as you go forward today, think about interdependence. And in those relationships where you're having difficulty, bring up the subject of interdependence and talk about that and see what happens. And then let me know. Leave me a comment or something. Let me know what's going on with you. Thanks. We'll talk soon.